everybody, and warm welcome to my channel, Tarot by Izabela. I hope you're all doing great, and I'm very happy to see you here. Today I will be doing a horoscope reading. And before I begin this horoscope reading, I must just say to all of you astrologers out there, this is not a normal traditional horoscope reading. I do not do any star maps and calculation. This is purely an intuitive horoscope reading, and I will be doing this in 4 sections with 4 videos, and each video will contain the 3 star signs. And there are a lot of discussion which sign you belong to. So when I do these readings, I say that if you identify as a specific star sign, then you can look at that star sign. And as I said, this is not a normal traditional horoscope reading. It's based on my tarot card and the things I get through them, and also through the crystal balls that will stand here as protection and also as inspiration and transmitting of energies. So bear in mind that I'm not an astrologer, but it still could be interesting to hear. And in these readings I will be talking about different areas in life. Health, love and emotions, money, work, school, and different areas. And it will be, this reading that I'm doing will be for the month of November and December. And next reading I will be doing the end of December or probably beginning of January 2024. And that reading will be for 3 months. Let we say for January, February and March. But this reading is just for November and December. And during a reading, sometimes it can come a personal message for someone who is looking or watching this video. I never know in advance what will come, and whatever information that I receive, I will pass it further to you. And with no delay, let's start this reading. Well, let's start the reading for the fire signs of the horoscope. And the fire signs are Leo, Sagittarius and Aries. And I will start with Leo. And I need to shuffle my cards a little bit first. And soon we'll begin. For the sign of Leo. Leo, yeah. You have to have the devil and the 3 of cups. So be a little bit careful with too much partying in November and December of 2023. Sometimes they like to party a little bit too much. Be careful with alcohol and other kinds of drugs. Leo. We put 3 cards on health, love and emotions, finances, job and school, family and friends, warnings, and what can come as a surprise. And some oracle cards for Leo. And on love and emotion, I have an extra card there. So, and finally some dice. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and the cards for Leo looks like this. What can we expect in the month of November, December 2023? We begin for the health pile. The health pile, strongly recommend almost for all Leos to take it a little bit easy in the month of November, December. Try to be balanced, equilibrium. Not too much partying, not too much sleep. Try to find a balance in your health, because you can feel extremely tired and lack of energy. If you find that balance and take more care of yourself, mentally, physically, emotionally, you will, at the end of December, beginning of January, feel quite rewarded, with a lot of energy and more happier. I see some Leos could have some problems with their throat, so be a little bit careful, especially in the winter months, those Leos that live in cold places on this earth. Try to cover your throat, try not to scream too much, roar, and don't neglect that, because I see cold winds and it could be irritation in your throat. Otherwise, most Leos, as I said, find a little bit more balance. Not too much awake time and not too much sleep time. And if you get a cold or whatever, feel a little bit down in the energies, try to rest, try to take care especially of the throat area. Okay, what do we have on love and emotions for Leos? Month of November, December could be a month of passion, new love partners, both male and female, and you could find lovers or people, they fascinate you, you fall in love directly, you are a little bit blinded of passion. Again, equilibrium, because here on the pink card we have pay attention to the red flags. Not everything is gold that shines. So even if that person at the first, when you talk to her or him, looks fabulous or looks perfect, be a little bit careful, because it could be too good to be true. So for most Leo, especially the single ones, no problem, you can begin with new passions, new partners, but be a little bit careful. Don't fall in love too quickly. Let not that person blind you with too much positive things, because could be other things behind that mask. So try to choose wisely and get to know that person better before you give your heart, or maybe follow that person home for the night. If not, it could be some unpleasant surprises. And that is also for Leos in relationships. So even if you have a stable relationship and a good partner, don't fall for that temptation, because it will not end well. And for those who are in a relationship, I see that in month of November, December, if the relationship have been a little bit boring, you will find like a new spark in your relationship. So a new passion. You will find other sides of your partner that you didn't see before that are extremely beautiful. And it's a big possibility for couples that have been together for a long time. You will find like a new romance for yourself within the same relationship. And for other Leos, it's most temptation. Be careful for temptation. And I see a couple of Leos, especially those who are recently in a relationship, or you recently met someone and you're getting to know each other. It's a big possibility that you will make a small trip together, like a honeymoon or something like that. Finances. Many Leos will, in the month November, December, think about buying something new for their home. Could be some kind of new furniture, some new decoration, or maybe start a project on your home. Could be some paint and some small renovation. And Leos sometimes are a little bit perfectionists how the home should look like. So don't be too... don't look too much on the details. You will eventually make the change in your home very, very well. Otherwise, financially, they recommend not buying the first best thing you see. Use a little bit discernment. If you, for example, want to buy a new sofa, don't go and buy the first best expensive sofa. Look a little bit around. You could find almost the same sofa, if not the same sofa, for half of the price, if you don't rush in emotionally into that. Oh, I want that one. And that could make you save a lot of money. So look around before you make a big purchase. For those Leos who had big problems financially, I see some aid coming in November, December, that will relieve some kind of stress, financial stress. So you will feel, oh, I managed this month or next month too. So some help financially. What about work? Here on work, I see... could be those Leos who have co-workers, elderly co-workers. I see some Leos here will probably have some problems at their work. And that problem could be related to an elderly male co-worker. And that male co-worker could fall ill or could be some accident at work. So you must help that elderly co-worker. And also for those Leos who are looking for a new job, the month of November, December could be a little bit difficult to find a good job. But I see at the end of December, it could be an old friend or male friend. You will get some recommendations or some tips about, oh, there is a vacancy over there. And if you apply that job, you will probably get it. And those Leos who are at school, you could find November, December, oh, very boring, very tiring. You could have a teacher that is extremely boring, or some teacher that you liked at school suddenly resigns or will not work anymore. And I recommend for those, especially those who are at school, try to get some more equilibrium with sleep, so you will manage the month of November, December better. If not, could be that some subjects is at school you will have not as good grade as you should have. Okay, family and friends. Some of you Leos will have propositions from close family or close friends. Some of your family or friends want to start their own business or their own company, and they will ask you if you can join them or if you maybe want to help them with that. And it seems like this new business or company could work very well financially. And what's more, I get a strong feeling for those Leos who have lost contact, could be with a sibling or with a close friend or close family member, male one, that in the month of November, December, this contact could open again. And the first meeting could be quite nervous, but it seems like this time the relationship between you could be very healthy. I see a lot of Leos who are could also be pregnancy coming in for those Leos who want children, and I see quite many will have a male child. And those Leos who don't wish to have children in November, December, they have to be more careful to not get pregnant or make someone pregnant, because there is a big risk / possibility, depends on where you stand in that issue, of pregnancy. Warnings. Some of those warnings I have already said. What I get strongly here is if you are inviting new people into your life, like strangers or new relationships that comes in, try not to give everything on the table first, all your heart, rush into everything, give your credit card and PIN code and everything. No, take it easy. Get to know this new person with time. And you will soon see if this person is good for you or not. What will come as a surprise? There is love cards, new beginnings. For those who had, as I said, had a little problem in their relationship, marriage, November, December could be like a rebirth of that relationship. You will probably fall in love with each other again. And that could come as a surprise. And also those Leos who had problems with authorities, with some kind of trial, judge, governmental things, they will get some very good result, good news from that one. So that looks very nice. On the oracle cards we have positive expectation, clarity, faith, and falseness. Again, don't rush into new relationships too quickly. You may have positive expectation, oh, this person is perfect, or you have faith in that person, but it's only a mask, since there is a lot of falseness. So be careful, especially with new relationships, people you have not met before, so you don't get tricked or fooled. And on the dice we have a desire for a calendar with number 15 again, and a man who doesn't know if he's going right or left. And this is this desire. You really want that person to be good, and you want that relationship to work quickly. You cannot wait. Or you are looking for signs, but you don't see them because you are blinded by passion. So again, the cards recommend take it easy. Everything will be revealed in time if this person is good for you or not. Well, that was my reading for Leo for the month of November-December 2023. Let's continue to the next sign. And the next sign will be Aries. So now let's see what Aries, the fire sign of Aries, can expect for the month of November-December 2023. I just need to shuffle my cards a little bit, and soon we're gonna look at Aries. Aries. Okay, let's begin with health, love and emotions, finances, school, job, family, friends, warnings, and what can come as a surprise. And some oracle cards. And a pink one on love and emotion. Oops, that one wants to come too, so we take that one. And some dice. Okay, and the cards look like this. Aries, let's see what the cards want to say for Aries, November-December 2023. Let's begin with the health. We have Page of Swords, King of Swords, and the Star. Most of you Aries will feel quite strong. Like you can control your health. You will have some kind of intuition, what is good for you, what is bad for you. And I see a lot of Aries gonna change their diet and how they take care of themselves. So they're gonna be more persistent. For example, if you're going on a special diet that is some kind of detox and cleansing, you will not quit after one day. You will continue that to the end, and you will feel positive and see positive results. And that is also included, for example, if you start some kind of workout or some kind of therapy, you will also see some positive results. And couple of you Aries, I see also doctor's visits. And I see some positive news those areas who are waiting for a result of some test of some kind, many of you gonna get a very good result. I cannot say positive. Sometimes positive results according to test results are not so good, but you will feel comfortable with the answer you get. Many of you areas gonna feel bigger intuition. Your dreams are gonna get stronger, and you're gonna feel like the universe wants to talk to you through you. And that could also be that your intuition's gonna tell you you should avoid this kind of food or this kind of things for your health. So you're gonna get like signs what is good for you or not. Let's continue to love and emotions. There we have 3 of Wands, 5 of Coins, Judgment. And make the effort, it is safe for you to love. For those of you that are secretly in love with someone, and you maybe have seen some signs that love could, you could have a response to that love, feel free to make the next move. Ask the person out for a date or offer something, and you could get positively surprised that person feels the same for you. And that is for single areas. For single areas. For those who are in relationship, could be some issues, financial issues in your relationship. So it's important that you sit down as a couple and discuss the budget. Is there some expenses that we can make smaller? Can we save on some certain area? If you do that, you're gonna help your relationship to feel better, since many areas do like to spend some money on the things that maybe not always needed. Yeah. And I see those areas who live in big houses with neighbors quite close by. You should be more careful for burglars. Yeah, because I see burglars going around. So you don't get some burglars into your house. Yeah. Be a little bit more attentive, especially if you're going away for a couple of days. Ask your neighbors to keep an eye on your property so you can avoid burglars. Finances. Could be that the month of November and December for many areas you will feel that you don't have so much money to spend. But still I don't see a lack of money or that you will go hungry or something. You have to take care of your economy, especially November, December, and not make buy things that you really don't need. Because I see many areas could have the problem that they buy stuff just to keep the anxiety level down, some kind of treat to themselves. And that especially for women, not too much shoes, clothes, things like that. If you already have the closet full, you really don't need so much stuff. Work and school. I see a couple of areas here. Could be that they will not be able to go to work or to school for some reason, couple of days, and they will get worried. How can I, will I lose too much money or this, or will I lose some important information if you're at school? I see that you will catch up quite quickly, and you don't really have to be afraid, of losing anything, because I see balance in finances, but also whatever information, if you're in school, you will be able to get it. For those who are looking for a job, the big good job, I don't see it coming in November, December, but you could get an interview that will lead to a good job. A couple of areas here I see also they could have problem that they're going to lose their job, but losing that job gives them opportunity to find something much better. So big changes in work and school area also. What about family and friends? Many areas gonna feel very good in their family and friend relationships. It's like big, of course, Christmas and New Year's are coming, so but big gatherings and a kind of peace and friendship. For those who have lost contacts with their sister or mother or close female relative, that connection will come up again in November, December. So you're gonna feel more whole as a family. And I see those areas who have a sister or sister-in-law, yeah, it's kind of sister, yeah. And I see this sister probably gonna move to a nice house, nice home, and you're gonna get invited to that new home, and she's gonna feel very, very happy for that new home. What do we have here? Warnings. Warnings are not to worry too much. Your anxiety level, try to get it balanced, not by buying stuff, but try to find the inner calm. Some kind of meditations, not think too much. I know we are living in very turbulent and crazy times for the moment, and many areas just want everything to be finished so we can begin to live. It's for all of us, but don't worry too much. Try to have that equilibrium. There are many things you cannot change, and those things you cannot change, it's no use to worry of them. And if you can change them, you don't have to worry. So calm down. What will come as a surprise? And that is for those areas who have children. Small children, bigger children, children. Some of you, especially if you have small children, but you have to keep an eye on your child, because the child could get in problem with bad company, or if it's small child, it's shoplifting or something like that. Keep an extra eye on your children so they don't get in trouble in the month of November, December. Or some children could be tempted to do something they should not do. Could be through internet or whatever, so you have to keep an extra eye on your children. And on the oracle cards we have angelic help, miraculous aid, a little money, mountain, a tent, a goldfish in a bowl, and spiral. Again comes that don't spend the money you don't have. You have to find some form of grounding, stability. And if you ask for help, you're gonna get help. If you ask your friends, if you ask higher source or powers, the help will come in miraculous way. But if you begin to think negatively, and the spiral will continue, and it will create very negative situations during the month of November, December. So be quite observant of your thoughts. Try to keep them up and vibrate, and you can see some miracles happen in November and December. Well, that was my reading for Aries. Let's continue to the last sign of the fire signs, and that is Sagittarius. And remember, this is an intuitive horoscope. It's not a traditional horoscope reading. It's a little bit different. So I am not an astrologer, and I don't pretend to be one, but this is for those who see themselves as Sagittarius. Yeah? Just a moment. A little bit more shuffling, and soon we begin. Sagittarius. Let's start with some cards for the health, love and emotion, finances, school and work, family and friends, warnings, and what can come as a surprise. And some oracle cards. And a pink one on the love pile. And finally some dice. Was blank one, I need another one. Okay, and the cards look like this. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see what we can find for you for the month of November, December 2023. Okay, on the health issue. The first thing I get here, you're gonna feel quite loved. It's like you're gonna get confirmation that you matter, and that people appreciate you, that people depend on you. Confirmation of love from your surrounding, and that will give you more energy, more passion to continue forward. And a lot of your areas also gonna get a lot of compliments. Oh, you look good today. Oh, you radiate or something. So it will be months of feel good. Some of you Sagittarius have to be careful not to trip. So look where you're going, so you don't trip or hurt an ankle or a leg or a foot. So I see it could be problems with that. If you are careful, you don't have to end up in a hospital with bandage and things like that. So be careful so you don't trip and break something. Yeah. Otherwise, it looks quite good. Let's continue for the love pile. For those Sagittarius, especially female ones, that are in relationships that are not good for them, that they feel not appreciated, that they feel for a long time I should end this. Probably you will end that relationship in the month of November, December, because we have the card free yourself, and you feel like you are trapped in something you don't feel good in, and that is not good for you. So month of November, December, for those Sagittarius that want to a divorce, it will be a time for them to move further. For single Sagittarius, male and female, you will have many opportunities to meet potential partners. And it's like you're gonna be quite frank from the beginning. This is how I am, take it or not. And in a way, you put the cards on the table and there will not be any strange surprises. But you can also receive from others. For example, if you're single and interested in that person, the person is going to be very frank to you and it's going to scare you a little bit. And try not to judge too much from the beginning. If you really like that person, try to give it some time and let to know each other, because we all have a history, and even if our history is not always the best one, it doesn't mean that that person should be a very bad person. We have all the possibility to change and make a better life. Yeah. Otherwise, those who are in relationship, it will be a time to think, what can we change to make this work better? Because I see could be some disturbance in relationships. Finances for Sagittarius, it looks like month of November, December could be positive. If you have struggled for something, if you have, for example, if you have a company and you really worked hard, in November, December you could see some quite good benefits. And many Sagittarius could feel that they have control over their economy. Yeah. And also I see some of you would get help from a male person in a financial situation, so that male person could help you financially, or if it's a gift or inherit something, but financially I see good surprises. Let's see here for job and school, Sagittarius. You will be quite focused on your job and school. For those who are in school, I see the grades could be quite good. Could be that you make new friends that you get along with very, very good. And like good opinion. You will make a good opinion. And for those who are looking for a job, it's a big possibility that you will sign a contract, job contract, in November, December, and that job is quite good. You will probably get it by recommendation from someone who knows you, and it's a good job with a good salary. Family and friends. For many of you Sagittarius, could be that someone you know, could be in a family of close friendship, who will separate due to infidelity. So you will hear that this person have been having someone by the side, and the couple will separate. And sometimes it goes like that, unfortunately. And it's if that relationship was good from the beginning, there would not be any reason for sidekicks, or have someone at the side. Otherwise, could also be that some elderly person in your family, male one, and this person is not young, is an old person, could have problem with the heart or blood circulation, whatever, during the month of November, December. What about warnings? There is no real warnings. Don't rush into things, and especially for those who are beginning new relationships or don't really want to have kids at the moment. You should be very careful, because here is pregnancy as a surprise. Yeah, and that could be quite confusing. Should I keep that pregnancy or should I do an abortion? So if you really don't want to have any children at the moment, a little bit more careful so there will not be an unwanted pregnancy. What will come as a surprise? Some very good friends of you, Sagittarius, friends for a long time, very, very good, and some friends that have been looking for a new home, new house, somewhere else to live. During November, December, there is a big possibility that your friend gonna find that new home, and it will be very, very happy moments for both of you. Finally, on the oracle cards, we have fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. A cross signifies religion. Malady, it's like sickness. A hammer, sees someone that drops a ball, like something a surprise. And tree. Again, I see that be careful that you will not get a pregnancy as a surprise. A new tree, something fruitful, something will grow. So especially if you have like temporary relationship, try to take care so you don't end up pregnant or with a pregnancy you really don't wish for. And I see a couple of you Aries gonna have a lot of thinking about religion, if this is really for you or if you want to maybe leave that religious community you have been involved with. But that is up to everyone. Well, that was my reading for the fire signs. And if you have liked what you have seen and heard, please don't forget to press like button, share button and subscription button. And the next horoscopes reading, I am planning to do that for the end of December, beginning of January 2024. And it will be for 3 months ahead. January, February and March. Well, that was for the fire sign. And I hope that everything good that comes out will happen and the negative things can stay away. And to all of you, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully we're gonna see each other soon again. Bye bye.